This is Gary Atensi with CNTV, and today we're in Atlanta, Georgia. I am here with the Mortgage Mermaid. Since 2005, she has offered top-notch expertise and knowledge to help you with the complex buying process while navigating the loan process from start to finish. Amy, thanks so much for joining us here today. Let's start off a little bit about yourself. I mean, you yourself, a mortgage specialist, entrepreneur. You have over 17 years that you've been involved in the mortgage industry. Your past as a mortgage specialist, admin assistant, broker liaison, originator, processor, and now you're a business development manager. Regardless of the title that you've held in the past, you're really a woman with the world's best interest at heart, who simply wants to help others into a new home. Tell me a little bit how this passion got started for you.
Well, growing up in a military household, all the men in my family were military. I got to see my cousins and aunts and uncles move around everywhere. I'm from San Diego, California, and growing up, I really didn't get to establish a home base for myself, being that I had to move around a lot. And then I ended up marrying somebody in the Navy myself when I got of age, and I wanted to just help people understand how important it is to have a foundation, why it's important to have a foundation, and what it does for your children and your family when you do have a foundation. You have to have a home base for everybody to come back to, because life is full of unpredictabilities, and having a home base is very necessary, especially when we're living in the age now where everyone is wanting to build generational wealth and be a business owner. Well, owning a home is part of that plan. Putting yourself in a situation where you're going to be able to build generational wealth starts with you owning your own home. So my goal is to get more people in homes so that they can raise their kids in one neighborhood and not have to move around everywhere, and that they can start building generational wealth for their families, and hopefully everybody in their family can one day be a homeowner.
I definitely agree with you. I mean, you yourself, you believe in entrepreneurs out there, in small business. Really, you believe in the American dream. I mean, is the American dream still owning a home? And for obviously all the reasons you discussed, but is there something about home ownership that really just resonates with us as Americans?
Home ownership is still the American dream. I think it will always be the American dream. Owning a home is the first step to, I think, being a real adult. It's hard to get in there and own a home. Renting, nowadays, we're seeing rental prices skyrocketing. Big investors are coming in, buying up all the rental properties and maxing out rental rates everywhere. So you tell me if owning a home is still part of your dream or not, or do you still want to keep investing in someone else's dream? Home ownership is always going to be part of the American dream, and I believe that it's the first step to being financially wealthy,
Sure.
Smart, and mature.
Absolutely. Yet at the same time, the financial aspects of getting a home, it can be stressful. I mean, it can be overwhelming, especially if you do it alone. Why is it always best to have a professional like yourself in your corner, maybe now more than ever before?
Well, I believe that having a professional is going to help make sure that you don't make any mistakes throughout the process. A lot of people think that they can go it alone and try to find a good deal for a house on their own or go house shopping. A lot of realtors don't even want to, and I hate to say this, it sounds rude, but you're wasting a realtor's time if you don't bring them a pre-approval letter. If you want to own a home or get into a home or you're considering house shopping, don't even pick up the phone unless you already have a realtor pre-approval letter from a loan officer ready to hand a realtor. Otherwise, the realtor is going to redirect you to somebody they know. And to be honest, if you explain everything to your loan officer about what your goals are, where you want to live, what type of situation you're looking for, whether or not you're wanting to own a residential property, or whether or not you want to turn something into an Airbnb, or you want to do the multifamily thing and create some income for yourself, your loan officer is always going to give you your best resource guide for getting in touch with whoever it is you need to get in touch with after you get that pre-approval. Getting that pre-approval is very important, and getting all the documentation to your loan officer to get that pre-approval is the very most important step to making sure that pre-approval happens quickly.
I mean, really what you do every day is you educate your customers, you educate your clients, understanding the learning process, the lending process. At the same time, you're really creating a professional relationship with these people. Really, is that something that you enjoy, getting to know them, and do you feel that's necessary to fully help them?
I am not one of those people that buy leads. I've never had to. All of my relationships are strictly organic. Everybody I've ever done a loan for knows me personally. And if they didn't know me personally, they do after we're done, because they become my friends. Last week, I had a man who got really upset about the fact that I had disclosed his credit score to his realtor. But he didn't quite understand how closely the lender and the realtor work together, and that we all need to come together in the best interest of our client. And he wanted to back out of his deal because he didn't want his other friend and his other circle of friends to know that his credit score wasn't as good as he had hoped it would be. So he kind of backed away, and I had to reach back out to him and find out what was going on. I found out that his wife was having a baby like that week. Wow. He was very stressed out. He's trying to get a whole bunch of things situated before his new baby gets here, and he's trying to decide where he wants to buy his home. So he's under a whole bunch of stress. And I ended up calling him. We had a long conversation. Both ended up crying on the phone, and he told me that his new baby girl has completely turned him into mush. So those are the kind of relationships that I love creating with my clients. I need to know when your life is a mess so I can help you get it all back on track. That's my job. As your loan officer, as your professional in the industry, my job is to advocate for you. So whatever issues you're facing as my customer, if you let me know what those issues are, I'm going to do my best to not only coach you through your lending and loan process, but I'm going to do my best to give you a little bit of life coaching too.
Very nice. I mean, you partnered up with the Sistar Mortgage. They're a nationwide lender that began back in 2002. Why did you feel that was a good fit for you?
I feel that Sistar Mortgage was an amazing fit for me because our CEO is a woman. How many lenders do you know out there that have CEOs of a lender that are actually women? That's the big main thing that got me. The other thing is I have an amazing boss. He is our division president, Jeff Moore. He allows me to be creative. He gives me elbow room to do what I need to do. He respects my creative mind, and they give me room to do my thing. Other companies aren't comfortable with people doing their thing. Well, we live in an age now where millennials are thinking differently. Everything's on social media. We have to be creative. A lot of companies are still getting up to date when it comes to accepting all these new things that people are starting to do. But Sistar Mortgage is ahead of the game there, and they're allowing me to create my own business and bring my following to this new company that I've partnered with.
Sounds like a great fit for you. Home equity is what makes home ownership such a great investment. What does the company mean by minimizing cost and maximizing investment?
Minimizing cost and maximizing investment. We're going to minimize all of your costs. We're not going to drain your pockets. We're not one of those lenders. We are a lender, so most of our products are in-house. We have a bunch of non-QM options for people that have maybe income issues, and maybe they have they're asset rich and income poor. We have asset deletion programs available. We have bank statement programs available. We have a bunch of creative products that are going to help you find the wealth that there is to build in yourself. Sometimes, whether or not you're a first-time homeowner or an investor, everybody's finances are maxed out. We understand that, we know that. Our goal is to help you make a smart investment, whether it be a home, a single-family home for yourself or your family, or another investment for yourself and your family. We're going to help you maximize the investment in yourself you're willing to make by minimizing all of the costs that it usually accumulates in the lending process.
I mean, when you apply for a mortgage, I mean, really, you are pretty much trusting your mortgage loan originator with your future. I mean, honestly, are banks, brokers, lenders, would you say the lender is best equipped, and why so?
I say the lender is always best equipped because we set our own guidelines. We're able to make exceptions when needed, and our connections are nationwide. When you're dealing with a bank or a broker, they might only service or be in certain markets. Sistar is a nationwide lender. We are in, I believe, 48 states. And when you are dealing with a lender, you want to work with a lender that has experience in every market, not just one.
I mean, these are loan programs that are designed to help others achieve the dream of home ownership. I mean, you touched on it earlier. What is that first step? Is it getting your documents prepared? They're pre-qualifying? Once again, let's stress how to get started.
The first step to figuring out how close you are to homeownership is by figuring out your debt-to-income ratio. Lenders typically want to see debt-to-income ratios of 28 all the way up to a maximum of 50%. The lower the better, of course. You want your debt-to-income ratio to be as low as possible. And the way you're going to figure out your debt-to-income ratio is by taking all of your monthly expenses and you're going to divide that by your gross monthly income. And that number is going to give you your debt-to-income ratio. And that's going to let you know how close or within that margin of 28 to 50% you are. And that, I would say, is always the first step to homeownership.
That is interesting. And so making sure you've got your debt ratio figured out, documents in place. Even before we do that, is it important for people to know what their credit score is and see if they can improve it? And is this an area your organization can help? Because quite honestly, we're talking about a team of experts that you have. I mean, are there tools that can help them in that building process?
Yes. At Sistar, we have lending programs that can lend with people as low as 580 and up credit scores. There are a lot of programs out there now that help people with lower credit scores. But if you're wanting to qualify for a Fannie Mae or a government loan, you're definitely going to want your credit score to be above 600. The higher, the better. The lower your rate, the more of a risk you are to a lender or any financial institution. You want to make sure that your debt to income is low and your credit score is as high as it can possibly be. And I do have lots of credit referral agencies to refer people to, tons of referral partners that are standing by ready to help people with credit issues. And I can refer anyone that needs credit assistance to any of my partners.
Mortgage professionals who are borrower orientated. I mean, is communication throughout the process important? Does this help people sleep at night through that whole process, knowing what's going on pretty much most steps of the way?
It does. I like to get with my borrowers every few days just to make sure that they know what's going on in the process, where their file is, what we need from them. Usually after someone fills out an application, we request all the documentation that's needed to process the loan, and then from there it goes to underwriting. And then underwriting is going to give us back a bunch of conditions, or hopefully not a whole lot of conditions, and tell us what the borrower needs to supply in order to meet these conditions to make this loan possible. Being able to get in touch with whoever and everybody that's involved in the loan process. Sometimes we need to get some information from a realtor or the borrower. making sure everybody is on the same page is very important. Communication is very vital.
I mean, personally for myself, the process was not only confusing when I went through it, but it was actually kind of intimidating, really. I mean, do you feel it's important to provide a realistic picture of what kind of loan is best for each individual based on their situation?
Always, always. I always want to make sure that I understand the intention of the borrower. Because if this is something that you're looking at as an investment property, a 30-year fixed rate mortgage may not be the smartest thing for you. But if you are wanting to buy a home and live there forever, of course the 30-year mortgage is probably going to be the best bet. So I always make sure that I understand my borrower's intentions for the property before deciding what loan options are best for them.
Amy, you have really a vast experience in this industry. Everything from building homes to financing them, you've really done that. You've been through it all. You've been an advocate, like you say, not only for small business owners, but for women, minorities. I mean, is this your way of really giving back, helping others invest in the communities that they grew up in?
Yes, it is. I believe that we all have to invest in the communities that we grew up in. And when we conquer those, then we move out elsewhere and we start conquering other nations. So I am from San Diego, California. I was heavily involved in a lot of community service work in San Diego and also in Texas half my life. I've advocated for quite a few causes. And now I live in Georgia. So I'm really looking forward to getting my elbows dirty with some of these congressmen out here and hopefully creating some positive change in Georgia as well.
Quite honestly, Amy, you're pretty much passionate about anything that you get yourself into, be it that of finding a new home for people, but you also have a passion for music. Tell me a little bit about what the future coming up this year, what you have going.
Well, since I wasn't able to make South by Southwest this year because my R&B singer broke her foot, me and a celebrity DJ friend of mine, OG Ron C. in Houston with the Chop Stars, are going to be organizing a home buying and investment seminar and concert along with vendor spaces and lots of amazing Houston food on OG Ron C's proclamated weekend day, which is September 4th. Our event is going to be on September 3rd, so please be looking out for any information that we post about that. We have pre-sale tickets online available now through Eventbrite, and prices are going to go up. So if you want to get in there, you better get in there now.
That is excellent. Viewers, keep in mind, if you check her out and like her on the Facebook page there, I'm sure she's going to keep you apprised of what's going on, important dates that she has quite as well when it comes to that event. So the Mortgage Mermaid is in your corner, providing a little bit of magic if so needed, but obviously taking care of people along that complex process. Viewers, let's take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is her website. On the website, first of all, you can learn more about basically this professional who has been at the industry since 2005. You can also learn more about the company. We're talking about a nationwide company, began back in 2002. Much of what is able to do anymore can be done online, and you can submit your documents, log in right there to the website once they get you started. Everything is safe, totally encrypted, and so basically you can get all this going rather quickly and obviously get pre-qualified so that when you go out and meet that realtor, they're ready for you. You basically just click the red button, get started. You can apply online or reach out for a free consultation, and they'll walk you through the steps as well. Once again, that's the Mortgage Mermaid, located in Atlanta, Georgia, a professional with the world's best interests at heart, who simply wants to help you into a new home. This is Gary Atencia with CNTV, and if you don't know, now you know.